Hello everyone, today's review is about the ICOM IC-7610, which is an HF transceiver covering from 6 to 160 meter, and this radio has actually two independent receivers, and it's a new technology radio using the SDR technology, which is software defined radio, and it offers a very good performance, and I consider this radio a high-end radio because of the dual receivers, but also because of its performance, because of SDR. But its price point is more in the middle range, so I think it's affordable. So if you're serious about HF, a contester, a DXer, and you want something that has dual receiver, you want great performance, you want an SDR radio with the state-of-the-art, the new technology, but you don't want to get too much into computers, you want something that works out of the box, that operates like a standard radio or a traditional radio, well, this radio is probably your best buy right now, okay? This offers you all that. It's simple, it's a traditional box radio, it's easy to operate, it's very intuitive. You actually don't even need to open a manual to operate this radio. If you own a 7300 or another ICOM radio in the past, this radio will be very easy to operate. I also operate that radio right out of the box when I receive it, and I did look for a few things, and then I was able to get around very easy. I also read the manual and went through all the features of this radio, and that's what I'm going to show you today. We will gonna go through all the buttons from left to right like I usually do with high-end radio, and we will gonna go from left to right, cover all the buttons and the features, and try to show you what this radio can do. Right now, there's not a lot of propagation, okay? So it varies, and depending when I'm available to film, you know, I don't always get the best propagation while I'm doing my video. So I will try to put at the end something showing you on a crowded band if I can, otherwise I will have to do it later on. I got some day that was that we have a lot of propagation lately, which was on 40 meter, and I was able to, you know, to use all the features of that radio and enjoy its performance. But unfortunately, I was not ready to film at the time, so because I was still learning the radio. But I will try to get you, because I've been working with this radio for the past month, and I really enjoy it. It's very pleased to work with. The nice color screen, which is 7-inch, is great. There's also external display connection that you can have. It's awesome. It looks very good. I really like the look of that radio. As I mentioned in my previous video, this radio just looked great, okay? And it does match with all the other radio from ICOM. It looks awesome, okay? So let's go through the radio and we'll be back after. The first button is the power. This is pretty straightforward. You can see there's a blue light on it when it's on, because the screensaver can turn off the screen after 60 minutes. That's a default. So this will let you know that the radio is on. Here you have the transmit button. You push on it, it's a send button or PTT button, it will transmit. You also have the timer button. If you activate it, mine, it doesn't work because it's not programmed, but if you want to program it, you do a long push, and then you can program the radio. As you can see, everything is touchscreen, okay? And this is very intuitive. You do a long push and you will have a sub-menu. To activate the automatic antenna tuner that is integrated, you just push on it and you see the light here, it's activated. You do a long push and it will tune, okay? Here you have the phone jack, your earphone jack. Here you have the electronic ear jack. You also have two USB ports, okay, that can be used for different things. The first thing is to use a USB stick to save the screen capture, the recording you would like, and the config, your setup. You can also save your setup. You can use it to update the firmware as well. You can also use the SD card. You can see I have one in because the light is blue here. Okay, that's an indicator showing that the SD card is active. When you use an SD card, you free up your two USB port that you have in the front. So I prefer this, and you know, it's flush with the radio, so you don't, you know, it doesn't stick out as a USB stick will do. Here I have a dongle that is used for a mouse and a keyboard. It uses the same dongle, okay? So the mouse is only for the waterfall, okay, as you can see here. And the keyboard can be used to send the pre-programmed voice recording for CQ, okay, let's say, and also some keyer memory for CW that you can use if you program correctly in the radio. You can use from F1 to F8 to actually recall those memory, voice, and keyer depending on the mode. You can also use the keyboard to do RTTY and to do PSK directly on the radio, which is great. The second USB port is used by the remote encoder that I have here. This is optional, which is the RC28. When you plug this into the 7610, automatically you can use the VFO to control the sub VFO, which is great. It's like adding button to your radio. But also, if you have the remote software that ICOM produced, which is the RSBA1 version 2, you can actually plug that on your computer, where is the software, and you can control the radio. You can even PTT with the thing, okay? You have the VFO, and you can use remotely to with your PC to have a really feeling of a radio. So this has two functions in the shack. It serves as a sub VFO, and you can also use it to do remote. Plus, the ICOM IC-7610 has a remote server integrated to it. You don't need to leave a PC on in your shack to be able to do remote operation, as it is automatically in the radio. It has a LAN interface, and you connect the internet directly to the radio, which is very, very great. You have an 8-pin microphone, okay, standard round microphone. You have two VFO, so there is two receivers into that radio, so you have two VFO volume, okay, two squelch and RF gain. So you have the main and the sub VFO volume. If you push on that button, it will go to mute, okay, and it will be amber, the color, and then green, it's receiving, you see, mute, that's very useful. So you have the same thing on the sub VFO. Here you have the squelch. If you go on your right, you can see the squelch activated because the light is turning off, okay? There's a squelch, and on the other side, there's the RF gain. This is an SDR, so the RF gain, okay, it's actually very useful, and you have a noisy band like 80 meters, but the signal is strong, you can actually drop it down, okay? And it will actually lower the noise, and then you will have just the big signal, and it's just great, okay? It's, listen to this. This is very, very good, okay? And it's very, very useful as well to reduce the noise in your shack. So I use that pretty much. You have the same thing on the sub VFO. You can actually change that config, you know, right squelch and left the RF gain, but I leave it like this. This is the default, and I like it that way. Here you have the noise blanker. You activate, the light turns on. Here you have the noise reductor, same thing. If you do a long push, you can actually adjust the level, the depth, and the width, okay, directly here by using this knob, okay, which is the multifunction knob. And you have the same thing for the level of the noise reductor, okay. Here you have on the screen, you have a few buttons here, okay, so you can select the antenna. You have a preamp. The first one is 12 dB, the second one is 20. And then you have the attenuation, 3 levels, 6, 12, and 18 dB. You have the IP plus that you can turn on. This will get a better IMD and will also reduce interference, okay. You also have the AGC that you can switch between slow, mid, and fast. If you do a long push, okay, you can actually customize those for each mode, which is great. A lot of people like doing that. And when it's on in this menu, okay, let's say turn this on, you see the blue LED on the right, okay, this is an indicator showing you that it's on. Then you have your Vox and your compressor. If you go in CW, then you will have your full break-in or semi break-in or off, okay, that you can activate. So you will have different menu depending on the mode you are using. The touchscreen is full touchscreen. You can switch VFO from A and B doing this, okay, and you can switch mode doing this. That's very easy, okay. You can switch between LSB and USB just pressing twice the SSB, okay. If you click here, you can actually change the band. There you go. You can actually enter a direct frequency as well. You can do exactly the same on the other side. You have an arrow here. When it's on, it will, whoops, let's go on the main. When it's on, it will change, okay? But not the two last digits. So if you wanted to leave it at 0, this is faster to QSY. But if you click on it, you will have the more fine VFO, okay? I prefer to use it like this. And here you have the meter, and then you change the meter. Here you have the voltage, okay? When you transmit, current, power, SWR, ALC, compressor. Okay, let's put it in SWR. As you can see, it changed on the other side as well at the same time, okay? If you go at the bottom, you have the waterfall, okay? And you can actually, let's try to find a signal. The bands are dead, okay? We can actually go into, no, it's worse, okay. So let's stay here, okay, on, hold on a second, let's go on this button. Okay, now we have a signal, okay. So this is the spectrum. You can actually expand it, have it wider, okay. And you, in the menu below, you have two menu 1 and 2, okay. That is for the spectrum and waterfall. You can adjust the span, so it starts at 5K width. Hold on a second. So minus 2.5 to plus 2.5, and then you can adjust. I prefer to have it 100, but you can go up to 1 meg wide. I go too fast. There you go. So you can have 1 meg wide if you'd like. Okay, I prefer to have it around 100. Okay, so we'll see most of the band, and that's the span. You can hold it like this. Okay, you can change. This is center, but you can also have it fixed. Okay, this is easier to go and get a signal. Okay, and you can set up the edge for the fix. Okay, then you have it like this. Let's go. You see, it's when you change, when in center mode, it's the waterfall and the spectrum that change. Okay, not only the cursor. So if you go in fixed mode, then it's easier to get the signal you want. Okay, then in back here, you have the main and sub. You can also have the sub, waterfall, spectrum, and you can have both at the same time, and you can switch, you know, the one you would like, and then you have both. And that is very cool. Let me show you something, okay? Let's say you like to monitor, okay, the one signal and you want to see it zoom, but you also want to see the band at the same time. So there's a feature that I use for that, okay? Maybe it's a trick, maybe it's not meant to be used like this, but I really like it, okay? So I adjust the span here to be around 5, okay? And I'll get on that signal, hold on. Okay, I will get this signal. Where is it? I'm gonna have to increase the span. Let's get the signal. Let's get this signal here. Okay, now it's started without the volume. Okay, so now we have the signal. Okay, so let's go into the menu and activate tracking. Okay, now you will have both on the same frequency, and if you change the frequency, both are changing. Okay, so let's do something. Let's change the span here to have around 5K and here to have 100. Okay, so I can see at the same time, okay, I can see both. I can see the signal and I can see the signal there. So let's go to another signal. Band condition are not very good. Okay, let's go to this signal. So as you can see, I can see both signal at the same time, the zoom one and the band. So that is very, very useful if you use, well, I use it like this, so I can see the band and I can see the station signal. Okay, that's very good. If you go into expand and you want to see the waterfall on each side by side when you're in dual mode, this is also very cool. Okay, so you can have a range like this. You can also, hold on, you do a long push here. Okay, let's put it back under. can also do some configuration here. And if you push expand, you're back here, and then you're back like this. Okay, so if you want the nice the nice RF meter is very cool. Okay, you go in menu 2, you can adjust the gain, the reference, okay, for the waterfall and spectrum. You can adjust the speed, the resolution bandwidth, the video bandwidth, the marker, and then you have expand again. Okay, so this covers pretty much the waterfall. Here's you have also the 3. You can activate the waterfall, do a long and short burst, it will change, okay, similar as you have in the menu here, the scope, okay. So that's the M scope button. Then you have the MP right. This is very useful if you want a temporary memory. Let's say there's a QSO there, you like it, but you want to go see on another frequency if your friends are there. Well, you can recall this frequency by just MP, okay, memo pad right, okay, and then if you change and you want to go back, and you do a memo pad read, and you will be back. If you do a long push, you will see the memory that that you did. Okay, so this is very cool. Now you can get out of there like this. You can also use exit every time to exit any screen. Okay. And then you have the auto tune that's in CW, so you get a CW signal, and if you want to be sure that you're right on frequency, you click auto tune, it will print auto tune, and it will actually tune the signal directly. Okay. Then you have the quick menu here, so you have the VFO and memory and that you can work with here. You also have the meter select, but you can do it in the screen directly, okay, as I shown before. You also have the drive gain that can be adjusted, and this here you can actually activate it by pushing the multi button right here. Okay, so I'll show you in a moment. Then you have the exit, okay, that can be used to exit any menu. Then you can record. You can record a file. You can see it's recording on the SD card, and then you can stop the record, okay, and you can play as well. And you can go into the menu here, have the record, play file, and look at your file and have it play back. Okay, so there you go. This is all saved on the SD card. Go back here. Okay, so this covers pretty much the button in the bottom. So let's go to the right. Then you have the multi button. Okay, so if you click on it, then you can click here, adjust the power, adjust the mic gain. You have Digi Select. Digi Select, what it does, it actually, you know, when you change band in an HF, you will hear a relay changing band because it's the band pass filter. When Digi Cell, what it does, it's a pre-selector that it's narrower than the band, so you can hear the click. Okay, listen to this. Okay, so you can see that this is the pre-selector. It will give you a better selectivity. It will also reduce interference for strong station, okay, from strong station. So this is cool. And then you have the notch. The notch, you can have auto notch, so you can actually eliminate somebody's tuning on the frequency, okay. And then you have the manual notch, and you can change between narrow, wide, and mid. The other day I was listening to a station, there was a birdie, okay, into his modulation, and I was able to get rid of the birdie going in narrow and manual notch and doing like this until I got rid of it, okay. So using this knob to adjust, that was very cool. Okay, then you can turn it off. Here you have your monitor and your volume. You can turn on and adjust your volume. So that is pretty straightforward. Here's you have your split, okay, and when you work in split, you can actually, okay, I'm still in tracking mode, hold on, okay. Now when you work in split, you can actually monitor the other frequency, okay, where you transmit by just pushing here to see if someone's calling you, okay. That's another useful to have dual waterfall like this, okay, so you can actually monitor. There you go. So you can actually switch. Here you have the dual watch. So if it's off, hold on. If it's off, well, the sub VFO is off, okay, even if you switch on it. So there won't be anything receiving over there. So you need to be on, print dual watch to be able to hear everything on the sub VFO. Here you have the band switch, similar as here, okay, so you can actually change band from here. You have general coverage, and then you have the main and sub, but as mentioned, you can do that as well, okay, to change between the main and sub. Here you have the changer. You can switch the frequency between VFO, the main and the sub VFO. If you do a long push, it will synchronize, okay. Here you have the main VFO. Here you have the speech. You need, I will reduce the RF gain on the sub, go into the sub, increase the volume. You need to have the volume to hear the speech, okay. This is for people who are blind, okay, who need indication.
F07.151 megahertz LSB.
This is not an option. It's by default it is in the radio, and if you do a long push, you can lock the button. Here you have the twin PBT that lets you, it's an IF shift, so you can adjust on each side, and when the light is on here, that means that it's adjust. So if you find that somebody has a weird audio because you play with that, you just push here and it will clear to 0. Here you have your filter, okay, so you can switch by default. Okay, I'm on sub VFO. Let's go on the main. By default, it's going to be 3K. I was able to adjust it to 3.6K. I'm going to show you that later on. And after the second one is 2.4, and then you have 1.8. If you do a long push, okay, you will have this screen. And if you do bandwidth, you can actually adjust manually the bandwidth. So you will have maximum of 3.6 minus 300 to 3300. And you can use twin PBT. Hold on. Get out of there. You can use twin PBT to give you to 0 to 3600. Okay, so that's how I was able to get the 3.6K, which is great. Okay, let's go out of there. Okay, then you have your APF. APF is in CW. It's audio peak filter. Okay, that you can activate. You have your key speed, your pitch, sorry, and your key speed right there. You can see it on the screen. The RIT, the XRT, and then you can change it using this knob here, okay, and you press clear to clear it out, okay. So this covers pretty much the main button of the radio. So let's go into the menu now. In the menu you have the scope, same as the button here. Here you have the audio scope. You can adjust the level and you can adjust the time as well, okay, and you can change between the main and the sub if you'd like. You also have the voice recall, so you can record your voice calling CQ, let's say, and you can recall and transmit it, okay? But also, sorry, if you're in CW, then you can add a key here. And this is from 1 to 8. If you activate in the menu the use of a USB keyboard, you can actually use the F1 to F8 key to actually send whatever, if you're in CW, for your code, or whatever if you're in voice, to send your record message using the USB keyboard, which is great, okay? Let's go back in LSB. Hold on a second. There you go, okay? Press exit. There you go, like this. You can see it's pretty intuitive, okay? If you don't read the manual to get this radio and you're used doing HF, you should be able to get around pretty quick. Here you have the meters. I really love this screen. It's very, very awesome, because when you try to set up your audio, to adjust your ALC using a little bit of compression, you want to check your SWR, you have everything here. Power, ALC, compression, SWR, current when you transmit, voltage, and also the temperature of the radio. So this is very cool, and you have the peak and all, so you can have every meter at the same time. So I really, really like it when you want to do setup. You got your memory here, you got your scan, okay, you got the memory pad, the same thing with the button here that I showed you how to record temporary memory. Here you have the record file that you can get access from there. You have the antenna, and you can configure, let's say, an RX antenna, let's say for 40 meter. You're able to configure it for that band, and you can actually customize the use of your antenna using this feature. You have the digicel, the notch, the monitor, and the tracking that you can use here. We showed everything that I have here, okay, with the manual and everything. Here you have the set, okay. The set is to configure the radio. So this is the menu. So you have the tone control. In transmit, let's say in SSB, your able to transmit in wide at 2.8K. I wish it was 3.6K, but it's very good. Okay, I get very good report of my audio when I'm working with this radio. People, I get very good comments, and there's no parametric EQ in this radio. There's only bass treble, but it's good enough. Okay, you can't scrap your audio. The only thing people will tell you, it's too bassy, or it's not enough bass or treble. Okay, so otherwise it's very easy to adjust, and you get great audio straight out of the box. Okay, it's simple, it works, and it's great. I get very good comments about my audio. So this is where you set it up. You can set it up by mode. You can also do a setup in RX for you if you'd like. You have some function. There's a lot of things you can control here, but we won't go through everything. Okay, but you can control, you see where to store your screen capture and everything, because you can configure the screen capture using the keyboard print screen. You can see it's on, so I can configure that, so that's pretty cool. Okay, here you have the connector, and there you can configure your a few different things. Here you have the USB dial. This is the RC28. You can actually, by default, it's push to toggle, but it's locked. Okay, so the PTT is always on, and here you can change it to hold to transmit, so the PTT will only transmit while you're pushing the button. Okay, so this is better. You can have a few configuration here as well. As I mentioned, there's a LAN interface into this radio, so it has an IP address. It's here that you set up the network control for remote access with the port and the username and password to use this radio remotely using the ICOM software. Here you have the display. You can configure your call, so when you boot, it will have your display. Okay, display language, there's only two, English and Japanese. You can change the resolution, and you need to activate the external display on, okay, to be able to have an external monitor. And remember, it needs an adapter. It's a DVI-D for digital, DVI-digital, okay, for D for digital, sorry. And to be able to use I use an HDMI cable with an adapter, okay, to go into the external monitor. Okay, then you have other different things. You can configure fonts and stuff like that. For the time, you can actually use the internet with the NTP function when it's on. Okay, and what you do is you push here and it will synchronize. Okay, but first you need to set up your UTC. Okay, and you can have both clock on. What it will show, depending of the screen that you choose, it will show you UTC and the local time right above. Okay, let's go back here. You have the SD card. You can load and save setting. You can actually format the card, screen capture view. You can actually upgrade the firmware if you follow the instruction. Okay, be very careful with that. Make sure you don't lose power while doing this. And you can unmount the SD card to remove it if the radio is on. The same thing, you have all the same for the USB stick if you want to use that. And in other, the main thing is the reset, partial and all reset. So this covered pretty much this radio and of the IC-7610. This concludes this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. Your support is very, very important to me. Okay, it's just giving me the fuel to continue to do complex video like today. This takes a lot of time learning a radio. I know it's part of the fun too, okay? But doing the video, you don't know how much take I had to make, you know, to get what I wanted. And it's still not perfect, but sometimes you have, you know, you got to give up, okay? After 2 days of filming the same thing, then you need to decide which one is the best. And that's what happened. So it's about doing a video like this is probably more than 30 hours, okay? Just doing a video like that. And your subscription is very, very important. And this is your support to this channel, and it helped me, give me the fuel to continue it. And please, if you have a moment, take the time and do a subscribe. Also do a like, okay? This is also help the video get indexed, so more people will see it. So this help as well. If you have any question or comments, don't go in the comments below. I answer all the comments that I get. At least I try, okay? But if you have any comments or questions, go in the comments below. And stay tuned for my next video. And if you're a subscriber, or if you just subscribe, please click on that notification bell to be notified as soon as a new video is online. Thank you for watching. For now, I'll say 73 and catch you some other time.